A careful household kept a short, reliable list: dried beans, whole grains, a few root vegetables, maybe a whole chicken, and built a full week of honest, filling meals from those things without much dozens of items, and the vast majority of them are engineered to catch your eye, not feed your family well. I have watched that shift happen over many years, and I will tell you plainly, the grocery store is not designed in your interest. I have seen folks on fixed incomes walk out with bags full of convenience foods, pre-season this, ready to heat that, and wonder at the end of the month where the pension money, and it took me a while to connect the dots. Here is the honest truth, that the food industry would rather you not sit with. Most of what fills the average cart is not really food. It is packaging, processing, marketing, and convenience fees. And those fees want a challenge right from the start is this idea that eating well on a tight budget means eating poorly or eating boring. That is simply not true, and anyone who has spent real time in the kitchen knows it. The second myth is that you need to build a core staples list. Foods that are cheap per serving, nutritious, shelf-stable, and genuinely versatile, and shop from that list month after month with discipline. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which turn and how to walk into any store with a clear, confident plan. You will stop guessing at the register. You will know what you need before you walk through the door. And you will want a printable version of the core staples list I am going to walk you through today. It is in the link in the description. I will not bring it up again. Now let us get into it. And I will tell you right, video is the one almost everyone gets backwards, and it is where pension budgets quietly bleed the most. Stay with me for that one. If there is one food I would put at the absolute center of any pension grocery list, it is eggs. A dozen eggs gives you 12 complete, high-quality protein servings. The cost per serving is hard to beat by almost any other food in the store, including most cuts of meat, including canned tuna, including most anything else in the protein section. Eggs scramble, they fry, they hard-boil, they go into soups, they turn a handful of leftover vegetables into a full meal. I make one almost every week. In my experience, people overlook eggs because they seem too ordinary. There is nothing glamorous about a cardboard carton of eggs sitting in your cart. But ordinary is exactly what a tight budget needs. Buy the store brand. Skip the premium labeling unless it genuinely matters to you for other reasons. The nutrition inside is the same. 1 or 2 cartons a month is a reasonable anchor. If you eat eggs several times a week, which I would encourage, you may want more. Next on the list, and this is one I want you to pay attention to, dried beans and lentils. I said near the start that one category near the end of this video is where the most money is hiding, and while I will get to the even bigger one shortly, dried beans and lentils deserve to be called out right now as the most underrated food in the entire grocery store for anyone on a fixed income. A 1-pound bag of dried lentils costs very little and produces a remarkable number of servings, far more than you would expect. Lentils cook in under 30 minutes without soaking, which makes them genuinely practical on any schedule. Red lentils, green lentils, split peas, all behave similarly and are interchangeable in most soups and stews. Black beans, pinto beans, chickpeas take a bit longer and benefit from an overnight soak, but an hour on the stove turns them into a rich, hearty food that holds in the refrigerator for 4 or 5 days. Beans are high in protein and fiber. They fill you up completely, and they pair with almost everything: rice, vegetables, broth, canned tomatoes, eggs. I know some folks have moved away from dried beans because canned beans are faster, and canned beans are genuinely fine. I use them too. But dried is significantly cheaper per serving, and once the habit forms, it does not feel like extra work at all. Cook a pot on a Sunday afternoon, and you eat from it all week. That is real, meaningful money saved without any sacrifice in quality. Old-fashioned rolled oats belong on this list every single month. A large canister of plain oats is inexpensive, stores well, and gives you a filling, nutritious breakfast for several weeks. Not the instant flavored packets. Those cost considerably more per serving and carry a significant amount of added sugar. Plain rolled oats, cooked on the stove for a few minutes, or soaked overnight in a jar with a little water or milk, topped with whatever fruit you have on hand, is one of the best value breakfasts that exists. Oats also work beyond breakfast. They thicken soups, stretch meatloaf, and bake into simple cookies. That versatility is worth keeping in mind when you think about the cost per use. Rice and pasta are the two staple starches that have fed families across every income level for generations, and they still belong on the pension list. A 5-pound bag of long-grain white rice or brown rice costs very little and produces a large number of servings. Plain pasta, spaghetti, penne, elbow macaroni, is similarly inexpensive in its basic form. The key word is basic. The moment you reach for flavored rice packets, pasta in a sauce kit, or rice pilaf mixes in a box, you are paying 2 or 3 times the price for salt, oil, and a seasoning packet you could make yourself for pennies. Buy the plain grain, season it yourself. The food is identical. The price is not. Root vegetables deserve a section all their own, because they are consistently among the best food values in the grocery store, dollar for dollar. A 5-pound bag of potatoes is inexpensive, filling, and remarkably versatile. Baked, boiled, roasted, mashed, or added to soup, potatoes do everything. Onions and carrots are similarly priced and similarly essential. They form the flavor base of soups, stews, and braises, and both keep well. Carrots last for weeks in the refrigerator without going off. Cabbage belongs in this group and is one of the most overlooked values on the produce floor. A whole head of green cabbage is among the cheapest vegetables in the store and lasts significantly longer than lettuce or prepackaged salad greens. Sautéed simply with a little butter and salt, it is a respectable side dish. Add it to soup, and it stretches a pot considerably while adding real nutrition. I have watched folks walk right past cabbage and reach for the pre-washed, pre-cut salad kits at 3 or 4 times the cost. That convenience fee, paid every week, adds up to real money over the course of a year. Frozen vegetables are worth saying plainly. Nutritionally, they are comparable to fresh, and in some cases better, because they are frozen at peak ripeness rather than spending days in transit and sitting under grocery store lights. For anyone on a pension, a freezer stocked with plain frozen vegetables is a genuinely smart decision. The word plain matters here. Buy the unseasoned bag, not the steamable pouches with butter sauce or cheese sauce already added. Those bags cost noticeably more per serving for sauce ingredients you can add yourself for almost nothing. Plain frozen broccoli, steamed on the stove and seasoned at home with a little butter and salt, costs a fraction of the price and tastes just as good. Canned tomatoes are one of those quiet staples that power dozens of different meals without demanding much in return. A can of crushed tomatoes is the base of a simple pasta sauce that costs very little and takes about 20 minutes. Diced tomatoes fold into soups and stews. Tomato paste, used in small amounts, deepens the flavor of almost any braised dish in a way that is hard to replicate cheaply with anything else. Buy the store brand. In cooked dishes, canned tomatoes perform identically across every price tier. The label is not worth the extra cost, and I say that with confidence after years of cooking with both. Canned fish, tuna, salmon, sardines, is another category that is consistently underappreciated. These are shelf-stable, ready to eat, relatively inexpensive per serving, and a solid source of protein and healthy fats. A can of tuna over a bowl of rice, with a little olive oil and whatever vegetables you have on hand, is a complete, satisfying meal that costs very little to put together. Sardines in particular. I know some folks are skeptical. I was too for a long time. But they are dense in nutrition, inexpensive, and genuinely versatile. Try them on plain toast with a little mustard or a squeeze of lemon. Many people who approach them with an open mind are genuinely surprised. On the dairy side, a large tub of plain yogurt, not the individual flavored cups, is considerably cheaper per serving and more useful. You eat it plain, add your own fruit or a drizzle of honey, use it in place of sour cream, or thin it into a sauce or dressing. The individual flavored cups cost several times more per ounce and contain a notable amount of added sugar. A block of basic cheese, cheddar, Colby, whatever is on sale that week, lasts well in the refrigerator and adds real substance to eggs, beans, and vegetables. Shredded cheese in bags costs more per ounce than a block of the same variety. A box grater costs almost nothing and pays for itself in the first month. Butter belongs on this list too. A small amount of real butter used in cooking adds flavor and satisfaction in a way that most inexpensive substitutes simply do not replicate. Buy the store brand. It is the same product for less money. For those who eat meat, bone-in chicken thighs are consistently one of the cheapest cuts at the meat counter and among the most flavorful. Chicken breasts get all the marketing attention, but thighs are harder to dry out, more forgiving in the oven or on the stove, and noticeably less expensive per pound in most stores. Season them simply with salt and whatever spices you keep on hand, roast them, and you have a solid meal. A whole chicken is an even better value per pound. It takes a bit more thought, but a whole roasted chicken gives you multiple meals. The roast one night, the shredded meat for soup or a simple grain bowl the next day, then the carcass simmered for broth. 3 or 4 meals from one purchase. That is the kind of thinking that makes a pension stretch without feeling like deprivation. A bottle of plain olive oil, not necessarily extra virgin for every use. The lighter variety works fine for everyday cooking and costs less, goes a long way. Salt, black pepper, garlic powder, paprika, cumin, a bottle of soy sauce or Worcestershire. These pantry staples are bought infrequently, but make plain ingredients taste like a real, considered meal. They eliminate the need for expensive pre-seasoned products, and they last for months. If you bake occasionally, even simple biscuits or a basic flatbread, a bag of flour and a box of baking powder replace a surprising number of store-bought items. Now here is the section I promised earlier, the one most people get completely backwards, and the place where pension grocery budgets lose the most money quietly and consistently. Convenience and processed foods, pre-cut fruit and vegetable trays, individual serving snack packs, flavored instant oatmeal, single-serve frozen meals, bottled salad dressings when a little oil, vinegar, salt, and mustard does the exact same job for nearly nothing, seasoning packets that are mostly salt and cornstarch, boxed meal kits with their own branded pasta and sauce, ready-made mashed potato pouches, pre-cooked grain packets. Every one of those products contains a large convenience fee built into the price. You are paying for the packaging, the portioning, the processing, and the marketing, not the actual food. I am not saying never treat yourself or choose convenience when the situation calls for it. But if these items appear regularly on your monthly grocery run, They are costing you far more than you may realize, and the nutritional return rarely justifies the price. Branded cereals are another consistent budget drain. The store brand version of nearly every popular cereal sits right beside it on the shelf, costs noticeably less, and is very often made in the same facility. Generic and store brand products across nearly every grocery category perform just as well as the name brand. Choosing store brand is not settling. It is simply refusing to pay for a commercial. Here is what I keep coming back to after watching this for years. The grocery budget is not saved at the checkout. It is saved before you leave the house. A written list built around your core staples acts like a filter at the store. You walk in knowing exactly what you need. You are not wandering the aisles, which is precisely what the store is designed to encourage. Every aisle and display, every eye-level stack, every bold sale sign is engineered to pull you off your plan. Shop the perimeter of the store first. Produce, dairy, meat. Then go into the aisles only for your specific pantry items. If you go on a day when a genuine sale matches something on your staples list, a markdown on frozen vegetables, a good price on chicken thighs, buy extra if you can store it. But do not let a sale on something you did not plan to buy convince you that you are saving money. Buying something you did not need, even cheaply, is still spending. The way I see it, eating well on a pension is not about sacrifice. It is about returning to the way food was always meant to work. Honest ingredients, cooked at home, stretched thoughtfully across several meals, wasted as little as possible. That approach has sustained people through genuinely hard times for generations. It works because the basics of good nutrition and good cooking have not changed. There is no money in teaching someone to cook dried beans and roast a whole chicken from scratch. The food industry profits from the alternative, the convenience product, the single-serve cup, the pre-seasoned pouch. That is why the simple answer is not advertised loudly. But now you have it, and it belongs to you. If you want to keep getting practical, honest information like this, real strategies built for people living on a fixed income, subscribe to this channel. I read the comments and I answer questions there regularly, so if you have a topic you want covered, or a question about something in this video, that is the place to ask. We would love to have you with us. Here is what this looks like as a real plan. This week, write your grocery list before you leave the house, built around the staples we covered today: eggs, dried beans or lentils, oats, rice or pasta, potatoes, onions and carrots, frozen vegetables, canned tomatoes and canned fish, plain yogurt and a block of cheese, bone-in chicken if you eat meat, a few pantry staples. This month, run at least one full grocery trip using only that list and see what you spend. In my experience, most folks are genuinely surprised by how much less the total is, and how little they actually miss. The careful, deliberate way of doing this, knowing your staples, cooking at home, wasting almost nothing, is still the right way. It always was. And the people who shop that way quietly keep more money in their pocket every single month, without anyone ever knowing they are doing anything unusual at all. Now I want to hear from you. What is one grocery staple your family has relied on for years? Something your parents or grandparents always kept stocked in the pantry or the root cellar? Leave it in the comments below. I genuinely read every one, and those conversations are some of my favorites on this channel. If you found this helpful, the next video worth watching is about why smart seniors never pay full price at the grocery store. There are specific timing habits and store strategies that go a layer deeper than what we covered today, and they make a real difference. That one is right here on the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, now is the time. Hit that button, and I will see you in the next one.